Kombucha. Do you know what it is? I don't. Is it good for you? Probably. Today I'm going to talk to you about what that is, and kombucha. It's easy to do. First thing you're going to need is a big ol' scoby. A scoby is a mat of bacteria and other yeasts that turn sweet tea into kombucha. It's delicious and really good for your gut and smells crazy. What you're going to need is a big glass jar, some unflavored black tea bags. It's really important to use unflavored because that's what the kombucha eats. Some sugar and a scoby. I've been growing this one for about 3 weeks. This is me trying to get the scoby out of the jar in the scoby hotel into a glass jar that I'll be brewing in. I just went for the hands after a while. It feels like a piece of flesh. Next, what we're going to do is use this starter tea, which is something that you need for your first batch of kombucha. You can also substitute this with about a tablespoon of white vinegar, but not apple cider vinegar, because those guys, they got vinegar worms in there. You're going to pour it in there with your SCOBY. You need both to kind of jumpstart the fermentation. Next, you're going to boil your water. The boiling water is so you can make your tea. The base of kombucha and why it's called kombucha tea is because it's just black tea with a lot of sugar. If you're from the South, it's sweet tea. Once you put the SCOBY and the starter tea in there, it turns it into a probiotic drink. Next, you're going to put your tea bags in there. You're going to want to just let it really get in there and steep for a really long time. You're going to want to have it be like a deep red black color by the time you put in the kombucha. There it is, looking like a deep red black color. There goes the sugar in there. It might look like a lot of sugar, but the microbes in the kombucha are going to eat up all that sugar and turn that into CO2, which is why kombucha is bubbly. You're going to want to let that tea cool down all the way down to its room temperature and then pour it in with the SCOBY. If it's too hot, it will kill the SCOBY. Don't do it. It likes things to be room temperature or a little warmer. Next, you're going to put a little hat on that guy, and you're going to put it in a warm cabinet for about a week. It all depends on your SCOBY. It might take longer, it might take shorter. The next step is second fermentation, also flavoring. Here I am going into my garden and getting some fresh ingredients, which in this case is mint. I'm going to make mint and blackberry flavored kombucha. Get in there and just rip it right out. You're going to want to chop these up really fine because the kombucha needs really fine particles to be able to eat it. Here I am putting my scraps into the compost bin. Next, I'm putting my flavorings into these brewing vessels. I'm using old kombucha bottles that I've bought from a store. They need to be thick so they don't explode when carbonation builds up. You got to put all the mint in there. It's okay that it's going all around. Next, I'm pouring the tea into the fermentation vessels. You're going to want to leave about like 1 to 2 inches of headroom so that there's enough space for carbonation to build up. Make sure you squeeze the lids really tight. This is my fermentation cabinet. I'm going to put them in there and I'm going to tuck them in. I'm going to say, good night, sleep tight. I'm going to leave them there for 2 to 3 days. And that's honestly it. We're going to check in on the flavored kombucha in 2 to 3 days, so stay tuned for that. Kombucha is wonderful. Try brewing it yourself. Love you. Bye.